the bustling heart of Crestview, a city painted with hues of vibrant ambition, lived Mia Thompson, a junior at Crestview University. Once the spark of her family, Mia now felt like a flickering candle in a storm, struggling to keep her light alive amidst the swirling winds of self-doubt and despair. Her dreams of becoming a filmmaker had dimmed under the weight of financial strains and personal losses. Mia's life had taken a heavy toll. Her father had passed away the previous year, leaving her and her mother grappling with both grief and the burden of bills that seemed to multiply overnight. As she walked through the university campus, her heart ached with memories of laughter shared with her father, who had always encouraged her to pursue her passion. Now, she felt like a ghost in her own life, drifting from class to class without purpose. One chilly autumn afternoon, Mia found herself sitting alone on a park bench, watching the leaves fall. The golden sunlight broke through the gray clouds, illuminating the world around her, a stark contrast to the shadows that loomed over her heart. She picked at the frayed edges of her sweater, her mind racing with worries about tuition, her mother's health, and the relentless pressure to succeed. As she sat there, she noticed a little girl nearby, laughing and playing with a puppy, her joy so pure and unguarded. Mia felt a pang of longing as she remembered her own childhood, filled with dreams and untainted hope. It was a small moment, but it stirred something deep within her, a whisper of possibility she hadn't heard in a long time. She realized, perhaps for the first time, that life still held beauty, even amid chaos. But change, she soon discovered, is rarely a solitary journey. As the days passed, she began to notice small acts of kindness around her, an elderly man offering his umbrella to a drenched student, a classmate sharing their notes with another struggling in class. These moments were like gentle nudges from the universe, hinting that maybe, just maybe, something beautiful could emerge from her own struggles. Mia returned to her dorm room that night, feeling a flicker of hope. The clutter of her workspace, a tangled mess of scripts and unfinished projects, suddenly felt like a canvas awaiting her brush. Perhaps she could begin to tell her story, the one that had been waiting patiently within her. Yet, the voice of doubt crept in again. Talented enough that her story wasn't worth telling. As she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the weight of her worries pressed heavily on her chest. In the dim light, she could almost hear her father's voice, echoing words of encouragement from her childhood. "You have a story to tell, Mia. Don't be afraid to share it." In that quiet moment, surrounded by the shadows of her doubts, something shifted. Mia decided to give herself a chance, perhaps. It was time to explore the flicker of light inside her, and let it guide her forward. Little did she know, the journey ahead would be filled with challenges, growth, and moments of profound transformation. The seeds of hope had been planted, and all she needed to do was nurture them. As the autumn days turned into a chilly winter, Mia's challenges began to mount like the layers of snow blanketing Crestview. Balancing her part-time job at the local coffee shop with her studies had her juggling responsibilities like a circus performer, and every time she sat down to work on her film project, short film inspired by her father's encouragement, her mind swirled with doubts. "What's the point?" she often thought, staring at the blank page that mirrored her feelings of inadequacy. Each time she attempted to write, memories of her father's laughter clashed with the harsh reality of her current struggles. The world outside her window felt vibrant and alive, while she remained ensnared in a haze of confusion and sorrow. Her mother's health began to decline, adding another layer of stress to Mia's already heavy load. The medical bills piled up, the weight of them sitting squarely on her shoulders. Mia found herself awake at night, her thoughts racing, anxiously calculating how she would manage tuition and help her mother afford the treatments she desperately needed. Every little setback felt like a mountain, and Mia often wondered if she was capable of climbing it. One fateful day at the coffee shop, amidst the clinking of cups and the hum of chatter, she met Mr. Bennett, an older man with a weathered face and kind eyes. He frequented the cafe for his morning coffee, and always sat in the same corner, reading thick novels that seemed to hold entire worlds within their pages. Mia struck up a conversation with him, surprised to find he was "Your dreams are like seeds, Mia," he told her one morning, his voice warm yet firm. "They need nurturing, patience, and a little bit of light to grow. Don't let fear bury them." His words lingered in her mind, a gentle reminder that even amid her struggles, her passion still held value. Yet, even with Mr. Bennet's encouragement, the path to growth was fraught with obstacles. The heaviness of her responsibilities began to seep into her heart, pulling her down like a lead weight. Each morning became a struggle to rise, and as the snow continued to fall outside, the darkness within her deepened. Then came the day when her mother had to be hospitalized for a few days. The sheer panic of seeing her mother in a hospital bed shattered whatever fragile sense of stability Mia had clung to. That night, overwhelmed by emotions, she broke down and called her best friend, Lily. "I don't know how to keep going," Mia confessed, her voice trembling. "I feel like I'm letting everyone down." "Mia, you are so much stronger than you realize. You've faced so much, and yet here you are, still fighting. It's okay to feel lost, but don't let it define you. You're capable of so much more," Lily reassured, steady and unwavering. That night, as Mia lay in bed, she stared at the ceiling and contemplated Lily's words. Slowly, she began to see her struggles not as barriers, but as a testament to her resilience. Each tear shed felt like a drop of water nurturing the seed of her dreams, and perhaps there was hope to be found in her pain. As the weeks passed, Mia found solace in small victories. A project completed, a fleeting moment of laughter shared with a classmate, or a compliment from Mr. Bennet about her writing. Each of these became beacons of light in her dark days. She learned to cherish the little things, reminding herself that hope could thrive even in the smallest of gestures. Then, one day, while scrolling through campus flyers, she stumbled upon an announcement for a community event and open mic night for aspiring filmmakers. The thought of sharing her story terrified her, yet something urged her to step out of her comfort zone. Maybe it was Mr. Bennet's words echoing in her mind, or Lily's unwavering support. Taking a deep breath, Mia decided to participate. She started pouring her heart into her film project, channeling her emotions into a narrative about a girl finding hope in the midst of adversity. With each frame she envisioned, she began to rediscover her love for storytelling, a flicker of passion she thought had long been extinguished. But as the event approached, doubt began to creep back in. Would anyone care about her story? Would they even understand? She questioned whether she was truly ready to share her heart with the world. Yet, with every passing day, the flicker of hope within her grew stronger, urging her to embrace her vulnerability and take the leap. Mia was beginning to realize that while her journey was littered with challenges, it also held the potential for growth, connection, and unexpected beauty. Little did she know, the open mic night would become a turning point in her life, igniting a fire within her that had long been dormant. The stage was set, and Mia was about to step into the light. Taking a deep breath, Mia decided to participate. She started pouring her heart into her film project, channeling her emotions into a narrative about a girl finding hope in the midst of adversity. With each frame she envisioned, she began to rediscover her love for storytelling, a flicker of passion she thought had long been extinguished. But as the event approached, doubt began to creep back in. Would anyone care about her story? Would they even understand? She questioned whether she was truly ready to share her heart with the world. Yet, with every passing day, the flicker of hope within her grew stronger, urging her to embrace her vulnerability and take the leap. Mia was beginning to realize that while her journey was littered with challenges, it also held the potential for growth, connection, and unexpected beauty. Little did she know, the open mic night would become a turning point in her life, igniting a fire within her that had long been dormant. The stage was set, and Mia was about to step into the light. The night of the open mic event arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with an electric energy. Crestview University's auditorium was filled with students, their voices mingling in excited chatter as they gathered to witness creativity in action. Mia stood backstage, her heart racing in sync with the pounding music from the speakers. She could feel the weight of her nerves pressing down on her, a heavy blanket of fear, threatening to smother the flicker of hope she had fought so hard to nurture. "Mia, you've got this," Lily said, giving her a reassuring squeeze on the shoulder. "Just remember, this is your moment. Share your truth, and everything else will fall into place." Mia nodded, trying to quiet the storm of doubts swirling in her mind. As she peered out from behind the curtain, she caught sight of the audience. They were young faces, open and curious, and for the first time that night, she felt a flicker of connection with them. They were there to listen, to support one another, and perhaps even to be inspired. When it was her turn, she stepped onto the stage, the spotlight illuminating her figure and casting shadows behind her. The murmurs faded into silence as she took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment. Holding her script tightly, she began to speak, her voice trembling at first, but gradually gaining strength. "I want to tell you a story about hope," she began, as she recalled her journey over the past few months. She shared her struggles, the loss of her father, the weight of financial burdens, and the challenges of juggling work and school. Each word felt like a release, an unburdening of emotions she had kept locked away for too long. As she spoke, Mia noticed the audience leaning in, captivated. She poured her heart into every sentence, using her pain as a catalyst for connection. She described the little moments that had reignited her spirit, the encouragement from Mr. Bennett, the late-night talks with Lily, and the simple yet profound acts of kindness she had witnessed. With each word, the flicker of hope within her grew into a roaring flame. Mia could feel the warmth of her emotions radiating outward, enveloping the audience in a shared experience. They laughed at the light moments, gasped at the heavy ones, and by the end of her story, Mia found herself standing in the spotlight, not just as a girl facing struggles, but as a beacon of resilience and courage. As she finished, the auditorium erupted in applause, the sound washing over her like a wave of affirmation. Tears welled in her eyes as she bowed her head, overwhelmed by the outpouring of support. In that moment, she felt lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted from her shoulders. For the first time in a long while, Mia believed in herself. After the event, a small group of students approached her, their faces glowing with admiration. "Your story was so moving," one girl said, her eyes shining. "Thank you for sharing it." Mia smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. She had hoped to inspire others, but the connection she felt with her peers was something she had never expected. Each conversation reinforced the idea that vulnerability could pave the way for healing, not just for herself, but for those around her. In the weeks that followed, Mia's life began to change in ways she hadn't anticipated. Encouraged by the reception of her story, she took a leap of faith and began working on a new film project, one that would explore themes of hope and resilience. She reached out to other students interested in film, forming a collaborative group that met weekly to brainstorm ideas, share resources, and support one another in their creative pursuits. With Mr. Bennett's guidance and the newfound camaraderie of her peers, Mia's confidence flourished. She learned to embrace the creative process, allowing herself to take risks without fear of failure. The story she once viewed as a burden transformed into her greatest asset, fueling her passion for filmmaking and pushing her to explore her own voice as an artist. Then came the day of the university's annual film festival, culmination of the hard work Mia and her peers had poured into their projects. As she prepared to present her short film, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. This time, however, the fear was tinged with anticipation. She was ready to share her story with an even larger audience. When the lights dimmed and the screen flickered to life. Mia took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of her friend's support enveloping her. As the images danced across the screen, her heart swelled with pride. She had poured not just her struggles into this film, but also the hope that had blossomed within her. The audience watched in rapt attention, and as the final scene played out a reflection of triumph and connection, Mia felt a surge of joy. It was a celebration not just of her journey, but of everyone who had inspired her along the way. When the credits rolled, the applause erupted again, louder and more fervent than before. In that moment, standing in the spotlight once more, Mia knew she had truly triumphed, not just by achieving recognition for her work, but by rediscovering her passion and strength. She had transformed her pain into purpose, and in doing so, she had sparked a sense of hope in others. As the evening wound down and students mingled, Mia found herself surrounded by a new circle of friends and fellow filmmakers, each of them eager to share their stories. She felt a profound sense of belonging, a feeling she had been yearning for. The journey had not been easy, but every challenge had shaped her into the person she was becoming, resilient storyteller, unafraid to embrace vulnerability and share her truth. The future felt bright and filled with endless possibilities, and for the first time in a long time, Mia could truly see it. With each new project, each story shared, she realized that she was not just a flicker of light in the storm. She was a beacon of hope for herself and for others, ready to illuminate the path ahead. As spring arrived in Crestview, the campus transformed into a riot of colors. Flowers bloomed, trees burst with green, and the air was filled with a palpable sense of renewal. Mia could feel the change around her, reflecting the growth she had experienced over the past few months. Each day brought new opportunities, and for the first time, she felt an exhilarating sense of purpose driving her forward. In the wake of her success at the film festival, Mia received an offer to showcase her short film at a regional arts competition. The news sent her heart racing with excitement and nerves. This was another chance to share her story on a larger platform, and she wanted to make the most of it. She spent hours refining her film, pouring her heart into every frame, and ensuring it captured the essence of resilience she had discovered within herself. With the support of her newfound friends, and Mr. Bennett's invaluable mentorship, Mia began to plan for the event. They worked together, sharing ideas and strategies to not only improve the film, but also to engage with the audience during the screening. Mia's confidence flourished, and she embraced the opportunity to connect with others through her art. The night of the regional competition arrived, and the auditorium buzzed with energy. Mia's heart raced as she took in the sea of faces, many of whom were aspiring artists just like her. As her film played, she watched with bated breath, hoping her message would resonate. Each laughter and gasp from the audience filled her with a warm sense of validation, as if her journey had intertwined with theirs. After the screening, Mia participated in a Q&A session. When the audience asked her questions about her inspirations and challenges, she spoke candidly about her experiences, the pain of losing her father, and how she had transformed that grief into a driving force for her creativity. The room filled with a sense of connection. Students shared their stories, and Mia found herself uplifted by their courage. Once again, she felt the magic of storytelling, the way it could bridge gaps and unite hearts. In that moment, she realized that her journey had become much bigger than her own. The stories she had shared were now intertwined with those of others, creating a tapestry of hope and resilience. When the awards were announced, Mia sat with her friends, fingers crossed and hearts racing. As the name of her film was called, a rush of disbelief and joy swept over her. She leaped from her seat, her friends cheering around her. As she accepted the award, she felt a surge of gratitude. This recognition was not just for her. It represented the culmination of every moment she had faced, every tear shed, and every ounce of courage she had summoned to share her story. In the days that followed, Mia reflected on her journey. She understood that growth was not a destination, but an ongoing process, one filled with both struggles and triumphs. She began to take time each day to express her gratitude, whether it was through journaling, reaching out to friends, or even helping fellow students who were navigating their own challenges. Inspired by her experiences, Mia initiated a community project at Crestview called Stories of Hope. It encouraged students to share their narratives, whether through film, writing, or art in a supportive environment. The project aimed to create a space where vulnerability was celebrated and stories became a source of strength and inspiration. Through Stories of Hope, Mia witnessed firsthand the power of storytelling to heal and connect. Students began to open up about their struggles, and each shared experience became a thread woven into the fabric of their community. Mia felt fulfilled watching others find their voices and embrace their journeys, and she knew that her own story had played a part in inspiring this change. As summer approached, Mia found herself sitting on the same park bench where she had once felt so lost. The sunlight streamed through the trees, illuminating the vibrant life around her. She felt a deep sense of peace and gratitude as she reflected on how far she had come. The flicker of hope that had once seemed so fragile was now a blazing fire within her. Mia's relationship with her mother had also blossomed during this time. They began to share their fears and joys more openly, navigating the complexities of life together. Mia's mother, inspired by her daughter's tenacity, found the strength to pursue her own passions, rekindling her love for painting. Together, they turned their home into a haven of creativity, a testament to their resilience and renewed connection. On a sunny afternoon, as Mia watched her mother paint, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over her. They had both faced immense struggles, yet they had emerged stronger and more united than ever. In that moment, she knew that the journey of growth was not just about individual triumphs. It was also about the relationships forged through shared experiences. As summer turned into fall again, Mia prepared to graduate. The excitement for what lay ahead filled her heart, but it was tinged with a bittersweet nostalgia. She had built a life filled with purpose, connection, and creativity, yet she knew that this chapter was coming to a close. On the day of her graduation, she stood among her classmates, ready to embark on a new journey. As she accepted her diploma, she felt the weight of her past struggles transform into a lightness of being a reminder that she was capable of overcoming whatever challenges life had yet to throw her way. In her speech, she spoke from the heart, sharing the importance of vulnerability, connection, and hope. She encouraged her peers to embrace their stories, to celebrate their struggles as much as their triumphs. "We are all storytellers," she said, her voice steady and strong, "and every story has the power to inspire change." As the audience erupted into applause, Mia felt a rush of joy. She had stepped into her truth, and, in doing so, had lit a path for others to follow. The journey was far from over. It was merely the beginning of a new adventure, filled with limitless possibilities. In the months that followed, Mia pursued her passion for filmmaking, collaborating with fellow artists, and sharing stories that resonated with audiences far and wide. She never forgot the lessons she had learned along the way, the importance of hope, resilience, and the connections forged through shared experiences. Each film she created was a tribute to the journey she had taken, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a flicker of light waiting to be found. As she looked back on her time at Crestview, she realized that her struggles had shaped her into the person she was becoming: a storyteller, a creator, and a beacon of hope for others. With every new story shared, Mia felt the warmth of connection and love, knowing that her journey would continue to inspire those around her. And as the sun set over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, Mia smiled, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead, knowing that the light within her would guide her through every challenge, every triumph, and every story yet to be told. As Mia stepped onto the stage of the university auditorium, the bright lights above illuminated her face, showcasing the determination etched in her features. The audience was filled with students, faculty, and community members, all gathered to celebrate creativity and storytelling. This was it. The moment she had worked tirelessly for, the culmination of her journey from grief to empowerment. Her short film, titled The Light Within, began to play, and she felt a rush of adrenaline as she watched her story unfold on screen. The imagery danced before her, moments of joy and sorrow interwoven with a tapestry of hope, resilience, and the power of connection. Each frame depicted not only her struggles, but also the beauty that had emerged from them. The film captured the essence of her journey, a reflection of her growth, and the lessons she had learned. As the credits rolled, the audience erupted into applause, and Mia felt tears of joy fill her eyes. She stood there, soaking in the warmth of their appreciation, knowing that her story had touched their hearts. This was not just a victory for her. It was a celebration of the shared human experience, the power of vulnerability, and the strength that comes from embracing one's truth. After the screening, Mia took a deep breath and walked to the front of the stage, the spotlight now firmly on her. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice steady and filled with emotion. "This film is a piece of my heart, but it also represents the stories we all carry within us. We each face challenges, and it's in those struggles that we find our strength. We have the power to create hope, not just for ourselves but for others too." Mia's words resonated throughout the auditorium, echoing the sentiment that had guided her journey. The students nodded, their faces reflecting understanding and compassion. In that moment, she realized how far she had come, not just as a filmmaker, but as a person who had learned to embrace her vulnerability and connect deeply with others. As she concluded her speech, a young woman from the audience stood up and spoke. "Your story inspired me to share my own. I've been through a lot, and I'm ready to start telling it." The room erupted in applause, a wave of support that rippled through the crowd. One by one, others began to stand, sharing their own stories of struggle and resilience, creating a powerful dialogue that united them all. Mia felt a rush of gratitude wash over her. This was the magic of storytelling, the way it could create bonds and ignite change. She knew her journey didn't end here. It was only the beginning of a larger narrative. Inspired by the connection she had formed with her peers, she envisioned a new project, a community initiative dedicated to sharing stories of hope, healing, and empowerment. As the sun set over Crestview, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, Mia sat with her friends, reflecting on the incredible journey they had all shared. The laughter, the tears, and the unwavering support had shaped her into the person she was, today a storyteller who understood the transformative power of vulnerability and connection. In the months that followed, Mia and her friends launched Stories of Hope, a platform that encouraged students to share their narratives through various forms of art, film, writing, and visual expressions. Each shared experience became a beacon of light, reminding everyone that they were not alone in their struggles. Mia's heart swelled with pride as she watched her vision come to life. Students began to find their voices, sharing their stories of resilience, love, and hope. The initiative fostered an environment of compassion, where individuals could connect and uplift one another through their experiences. In the end, Mia learned that life's challenges could become the very foundation of growth. She realized that the journey of healing and transformation is ongoing, a beautiful, ever-evolving narrative filled with moments of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. The flicker of hope that had once felt so fragile had become a blazing fire within her, illuminating the path for others to follow. As she moved forward, Mia carried with her the lessons she had learned, the importance of embracing vulnerability, finding strength in community, and using her voice to inspire change. She understood that storytelling was not just a means of expression, but a powerful tool for connection and healing. With each story shared, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, as the final scene of her journey unfolded, Mia Thompson stood at the crossroads of her life, filled with excitement and anticipation. With her heart open and her spirit unwavering, She embraced the unknown, knowing that she had the strength to navigate the ever-changing landscape of life. With hope lighting her way, she stepped forward, ready to create the next chapter of her story of resilience, empowerment, and the boundless potential that lies within each of us.